Good evening, Cardinal families. My name is Josh Bridwell, or Mr. Bridwell. I also go by Coach Bridwell. You will hear students, families, and colleagues call me all of these things. I'm excited to get to know all of your students and to get to know you. I've been able to personally reach out to about half of my parents so far, and I look forward to reaching out to the rest of you. So if you haven't spoken to me yet, expect a phone call coming within the next couple weeks. Today, back to school parent night is a little bit of a get to know me, but it's also to get to know my class. And so, with our class and district using Canvas exclusively, today's Screencastify will point you in that direction. So, welcome to Mr. Bridwell's Social Studies class. In this video, I'm going to introduce myself and talk about my purpose, the best way to communicate with me, the best way for parents to become involved in study habits for my class, the rhyme and rhythm of class. How will my class work? Specialty items for social studies, the grading policy, and then how do you access those grades? Okay, let's get started here. So my name is Joshua Bridwell. I have a master's degree in teaching that I obtained from the University of Indianapolis. I did my bachelor's and master's there. I am entering my 5th year teaching. I'm the 8th grade head football coach. I'm also an assistant track coach. I take great pride in helping the athletic teams and this community continue to grow. My purpose in teaching is to reach every student where they are and to grow them to be successfully, mentally, and emotionally. Sorry. I'm also purposeful in pushing those students to practice good civics and contribute to society in the future. We are growing them to be citizens of the United States and citizens of the world, and social studies class is a good starting point for that. The best way to communicate with me. The best way to communicate with me is via email at jbridwell@perryschools.org. I will return an email within 24 hours, if not sooner. You can also reach me at 317-789-4773. That is my office number, but be aware, when we're at school from 8 to 3, I will not answer, but if you leave me a voice message, I'll try to return your call as promptly as possible. You can also send me a message in Canvas. And I'll show you where you can find that feature here in just a few minutes. So parent involvement and study habits. Please check your Canvas assignments for your student in the modules for the green check mark. And I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. Okay, and then a key thing to understand is that we are going to have new learning every day, Monday through Friday. Wednesdays, when it's all remote learning, we will still have a new lesson or a new type of assessment, something new on Canvas in modules. Okay, and that brings me to the next point here. Modules, modules, modules. What does that look like? When we go to Canvas, you will see the social studies homepage looks like this right here. You can find my contact information here, as well as the Canvas essentials. Your students should have viewed this already and filled out a paper at the very back of their agenda that labels the new learning, where to find assignments, the cool things to know for my class, as well as where you can find assignments and technology we will use. So from here on the left-hand side, you will scroll down to modules. And today's new learning was continents and oceans. This is lesson 1 of our first unit. From here, they will watch a CNN 10 current events bell work each and every day while answering a few questions. Then we will get into our presentation and our new learning, and they will end every lesson with a short quiz. 1 question to 10 questions, no more. Usually on the shorter end. I try to stay anywhere from 1 to 3. That's the goal. And that's a performance. So that is showing, were they able to demonstrate mastery and of the content and the skill for that day. Our modules will look similar to this every day. But if you look right here, you can see in my student view, I have submitted and completed my continents and oceans quiz. So I've completed all the items needed for this module. And another way for you to be involved is talk current events. We are talking current events in class. We're talking about the coronavirus and the election. We watched current events and looking at the Electoral College earlier this week, looking at what states are important to win an election. So we're going to talk about current events and what's going on in the world because we live in it. And I think that's important in social studies to learn our civics and to practice being informed. So how does my class start? I talked about that a little bit already, but first, the first thing we will do in every lesson is log into Canvas. When you log into Canvas, you're going to access modules. From there, you're going to complete the bell work assignment. And after bell work assignment, you're going to answer a couple of questions after watching our current events video. From there, we're going to transition to the new content learning, which will be a Google Slides presentation, a Pear Deck interactive slide, which they did today, and that will contain the agenda, the lesson objective, the new learning, and a closure. And our check for understanding and closure for the entire lesson will be a Canvas performance quiz. Again, 1 to 10 questions demonstrating mastery of that lesson objective. And lastly, they will have a wrap up. Metacognition is looking at and thinking about our thinking and thinking about our learning. And so it's important for us and as a community and for these students to think about what did I just do today? And that's how we always like to end that day. So specialty items for social studies. One thing that I would ask every student to bring with them in person, to have with them remotely, is headphones. We will watch Edpuzzle. We will use technology like Edpuzzle, Brain Pop, CNN 10, current events, as well as some reading tools. And in our Pear Deck, I'll have audio instructions that they will need to have headphones to use if they're in a loud area. Obviously, remotely, they can play it out loud if they're isolated and alone. But headphones if you're in a crowded area, please. Grading policy. We have a grading policy for the Social Studies Department on the Canvas homepage. So I'll go ahead and show you that now. So if you go to my homepage, some key things to be aware of. A syllabus, which will outline the entire social studies curriculum in 7th grade, looking at quarter 1 with geography, civilization, and the Fertile Crescent, looking at ancient Mesopotamia. The dates, some of the big ideas and essential questions we will answer, as well as going all the way through quarter 2, 3, and 4 for this year. Also on the homepage is a grading policy. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. My class will be divided up into, and all of our work will be divided up into 2 segments. Practice, which is the work we're going to do in class, including bell work and homework, and performance, which will be the everyday quizzes that they have at the end of the day. Our practice, classwork, and homework is worth 20% of their grade. Our performance quizzes are worth 80% of our grade.
Eric Flores Morales, if you're in the building, please come to the main office immediately. Eric Flores Morales, please come to the main office. Thank you.
Okay. And so please take a look at that grading policy. It can be found from the Canvas homepage. And lastly, access to grades. Number 1, check Skyward. Skyward will have at least 2 to 3 grades per week, updated every 2 weeks at the minimum. You can also access what we're doing in class by checking the Canvas gradebook. And from the student view and parent view, you go to grades. You will be able to see the assignments, whether it's missing or completed, their score, and their total. It'll introduce our sections, which are unit assessment, all work, and introductions, as well as the total. I look forward to having a great year this year. Please reach out to me with any questions, concerns, or praises, and I really look forward to this being a year of triumph. You can see it on my board at the back. I believe we're going to triumph over all adversities and have a wonderful year. It was great to meet all of you. I look forward to speaking with you. Have a great rest of the day.